Hello everybody. Today we are going to discuss call for proposals from Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, that is DBT. You can go to the website of DBT, which is dbtindia.gov.in. As you can see here, we have opened it, call for proposals. Presently you can see four categories are given here. First is grant call cancer disease biology research, and the date is from 25th January 2023 to 15th March 2023. Second is joint call for Indo-Australia IABF round 15, and it is from 16th Jan to 15th March. Then call for proposal on bovine sexed semen sorting technology, and the date is from 16th Jan to 15th Feb. And call for R&D project proposals on human genetic diseases, date is from 19th December to 15th March. So one by one we will be seeing all these four grants. You can click here and you can view the first one. So first is call for letters of intent on cancer disease biology. We all know that cancer disease is very common, and it is very common health problem, especially in India. So the proposal has been invited for following challenges. You can see here. You can identify and quantify cancer risk factors. Then you can see here, you can identify affordable approaches, screening tools, then generate affordable and effective therapies and outcome against cancer, understand the mechanism of cancer development. Then you can also develop affordable AI tools or computational methods to reduce the cost of cancer care. So this is the format. You have to write title of the proposal, then details of institutions and investigators, then aims and objectives of the proposal, then technical questions related to it, then current state, that is status, global, that is international status, Indian status. You can include state status also. Then what is novelty of your proposal, like how your proposal is different from existing therapies that are already present. Then comes expected outcomes and then potential applications in the Indian context. Then scope of development of resources to be made available for the larger scientific community. Then you have to also include brief CV or biodatas of the investigators with details of 5 to 6 most relevant publications and patents. Relevant means the publications related to the title of the proposal that you are going to submit. Then tentative institution wise budget also you have to include, and it will have breakup of recurring and non-recurring heads. It will be properly signed by PI and co-PI and forwarded by the executive head of the institute. Then what is the eligibility criteria? So it is for scientists, clinicians, then researchers and academicians with sound scientific, clinical and technical backgrounds and relevant publications. Okay, working in regular capacity means you should be in regular post in recognized research institution or medical college or academic institution or universities. Then for non-government institutions, DSIR recognition is very important. Then host institution should undertake the overall responsibility of implementing the project. Okay, so here it is given that you can contact Dr. Sandhya R. Shenoy, Scientist FDBT, for further details. And the format of the project should be Times New Roman 12 font, spacing 1.5, and not more than 6 pages. This is very important. And one hard copy should also be sent via speed post to the address they have given. Then they have written that the PIs, those who will be shortlisted, will be invited to submit full proposal for a period of 3 years through DBT, Electronic Project Management Information System, under the program Cancer Disease Biology, and it will be reviewed and evaluated as per the extant DBT norms. So last date is 15th March 2023. So if you are working on any type of cancer, then this is the opportunity you can apply. Next, we will also be seeing call for R&D project proposal on human genetic diseases. See here, the date has been extended to 15th February. So in this, the projects are invited related to the human genetic diseases. So what are the main or what are the important human genetic disorders? Rare genetic disorders, like to study disease associated genetic variation and development of new diagnostic tests and targeted treatments for rare genetic disorders. Then discovery of causative genes for various Mendelian disorders like cerebral ataxias, cortical malformations, intellectual disability, and dystonia. Then comes genetics of multifactorial disorders with monogenic components like anencephaly, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, then cardiovascular disorders and diabetes. Then program on diagnostic development of human genetic diseases using genetic model organisms. This can also be applied. Next is creation, integration, and development of capacity and resources for functional interpretation and validation of disease associated genetic variations of Indian genetic diseases. Database for genetic diseases relevant to India will be considered. Then there is also a category transdisciplinary collaborative research exploring the potential of precision medicine with focus on development of new tools and analytical methods for integrating patient data with information about contextual factors acting at the community or population level. Then you can also write a project on development of pharmacogenomic and other precision medicine tools to identify critical biomarkers for disease progression and drug responses in diverse population. And last is translation of pharmacogenomic discoveries into clinical practice, including effective treatments. So those who are interested, they can submit project proposals online through DBT electronic project management system. This one, just we will right click and soft copy of the final version of the proposal also you have to send to the program officer by email in the email id omkar.dbt@nic.in. Okay, and here they have written that if you are not submitting the proposal in the online format, then the proposal will not be considered. And last date is 15th February. So this is ePro MIS system, which is web enabled project management information system. In this you can go, you can here do login. For login you have to create an account, and after that you will be doing login and you will be proceeding for the same. So this was call for R&D project proposals on human genetic diseases. Then there is joint call for Indo-Australia IABF round 15. We will be clicking here and you can see here this is Indo-Australian Biotechnology Fund, which is collaborative research projects round 15. So this is a call for proposal under the innovations partnership between India and Australia. Opening date is 16th January and closing date is 15th March. So what is the background here? This proposal basically DBT has started so that we can have a strategic partnership with Australia for developing research in the medical biotechnology domain. Okay, and this Indo-Australian Biotechnology Fund is managed jointly by DBT, that is Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and Department of Industry, Innovation and Science, Government of Australia. So these two agencies, they together manage this fund. Now this was started in 2006 and it has supported various collaborative projects, and it has supported collaborative leading edge research between scientists in Australia and India across a range of jointly agreed priority areas. Okay, so you can apply for it. Now, what is the purpose of the call? As I have told, this is to support research and innovation projects that are highly relevant for scientific solution for AMR and RNA vaccines. AMR is antimicrobial resistance and RNA vaccines and therapies. In these two categories, basically, the proposal you can submit. The call seeks to fund applications for conducting research with a high societal relevance, both basic and applied. Means it should be benefited for society. And basic and applied, both category of research, they will be helping or they will be funding. Then who can apply? This is very important. This call addresses Indian and Australian consortium partners of domain expertise. The project parties should be legal entities and independent of each other with base operations in respective countries. Then applicants might include institutes, public-private companies, universities, and or state territory funded research organizations. You can click here and you can check here and Exer 1 for more details they have written. Then what are the guidelines of the grant? You can see here the joint call requires collaboration between Indian and Australian research teams. Okay, and it will be submitted as a multiple principal investigator. And this application will have uh, it will be led by both the country scientists as PD and PI. Okay. So here applications will be derived from existing collaborations with an established history of interaction or from new partnerships developed in response to this call. It means that if the scientists of these two countries are working already together, then they can also apply, or new scientists can also come together and they can have a partnership and they can apply for this call. But the collaboration must be based on interactive relationships that maximize the expertise of the individual Indian and Australian research teams. Okay, so through this call, Indian and Australian collaborating investigators should work together to develop and submit an application to Department of Industry, Innovation and Science, which is DIIS, Government of Australia, and the Indian Ministry of Science and Technologies, Department of Biotechnology, which is DBT. Okay, so here Indian applications will have to follow DBT guidelines using the proposal submission from R&D projects, and format is given here. You can see here, we will be clicking and we will be seeing. Then in addition to detailed plan, we should also, or we will also have to include, the application must include leadership plan that describes the roles, responsibilities and working relationships of the PD and PIs. Means the scientists who are involving or who are coming together or who are collaborating, the separate roles and responsibilities should be very clearly mentioned in the application. Okay, then on the basis of merit, the applications will be supported. Then here it is written that DBT and DIIS will only consider applications which meet the following criteria. The applications should meet call objectives, that is purpose or objective that is given in this, that should be properly met, and the application must be submitted as the format on DBT's website for Indian applicants and at this https://business.gov.au for Australian applicants. Then all project parties must be legal entities. Then project duration must be 3 years. Then application must be submitted on or before the due date. After the due date, the proposal will not be accepted. So here when they will be assessing, then what they will be seeing. So scientific merit of the proposal, that is alignment to call objectives, means the purpose is met or not. Then is there any innovation or not. Then sustainable, scalable and flexible solutions should be given. Then very important is that the existing scientific problem has been addressed or not, or is there any innovative step for, or have they developed any product or anything or any process which adds to the existing knowledge. That is very important, very important. Then what is the approach that the PI has given, like the methodology or detail method. Then what is the relevance of the choice of method to the proposed solution. Then very important is the budget that you have proposed. It should be realistically planned and the activities should be clearly written in with respect to timeline and budget. So you have to properly make a time chart of 3 years. Then organization and investigator capabilities, like the project party's expertise and experience in the chosen method or not. Then the parties are capable or not for completing or implementing the project. Then commitment of the respective project parties to implementation and funding. Then advantages of partnering between Indian and Australian groups. Then next comes impact and deliverables. Potential to advance science and its impact across both the countries. Like how it will be benefiting to both the countries, how they will be adding economic value to both the countries. Okay. So these are the areas in which they will be checking for the assessment of the grant. Then how do we assess? So basically they are saying that there is tough competition and on the basis of above criterias the applications will be assessed and they will be evaluated independently by Indian and Australian expert committees and then jointly reviewed for decision on award. And when they are evaluating, if there will be any queries, then maybe they will be again the PIs will be asked to clarify the issues raised during the assessment process. And applicants may be called to participate during evaluation of the project if required to do so by the department, that is DBT and DIIS. So funding, the applications from research institutes, academics or not-for-profit research organizations will be funded by DBT subject to fulfillment of the eligibility conditions and verifiable documents. Then they have also written about IPRs. So applicants must provide details of intellectual property issues in their applications. And this includes both the use of IP in the project proposal and proposed ownership of rights of IP generated by the project as well as strategies for protecting India's interest. In the annexure, they have also given the template of IPR agreement that also will be signed. And main the thing is that IP rights of India as well as Australia both will be properly checked or both will be properly considered. Then about decision. The decision to award an application will be made by email and the decision may not be appealed. If funds have been awarded in error or an overpayment made, then the recipient will have to return or they will have to give the repayment. And what will be the terms for granted funds? DBT's general terms applied to granted funds. You can see the what are the terms and conditions in the case of DBT and all those will be applied for this grant also. Okay. And these are the contact details that they have given. For India, they have given Dr. Vinita Chaudhary, Scientist E, and the email ID is also given. And DBT application support e-promise team is also the detail has been given. If you are facing any technical problem related to submission of application, then you can write in this email ID or you can contact on this phone number. And Department of Industry, Science and Resources Australia for head of division Ost Industry, they have also given the details. So this is the draft template for intellectual property governing framework. In this you have to write name and affiliation of the partnering Australian university, party 1, party 2, party 3. So the details have been given. Then modalities of participation and funding. Participants from India, you can see here. The Government of India supported or recognized academia, research organizations and urban or other local bodies. Okay. Then NGOs could also apply. So these are the eligibility criteria you can see here. This already we have discussed. Then NGOs who are not eligible. So research centers and academic organizations headquartered and owned outside India and their subsidiaries in India, they are not eligible. Means you have to be Indian citizen and you have to be the part of Indian Institute. And the number of Indian project partners should be optimum and correspond to the objectives of the project. Then in case there is more than one Indian participant in a given proposal, they have written that the Indian participants appoint among them a lead scientific coordinator who can represent the Indian participants in the consortium. Okay, in DBT means that lead scientific coordinator will have to represent his team. And if there is only one Indian participant in a given proposal, it is advised that the Indian participant should include one co-principal investigator in the proposal. So in this way, you have to write your budget. You have to include the heads non-recurring. In that you have to write about equipment. Then recurring, you have to write consumables, manpower, travel, contingencies, overheads, outsourcing and others. So budget you have to make as per DBT norms, and here it is written that when you are preparing this details of equipments, then you have to write justification for each head. Then equipment cost should not exceed 30% of the total project cost. This is very important. This you have to take care of. And there are some regulatory, ethical, safety conditions that also you have to follow. So how to apply for the submission to DBT? You have to apply through this link that is given. So if you are not applying online, then it will not be acceptable. Then last is call for proposal on bovine sexed semen sorting technology. Here also you can click and you can download the details. So the last date is 15th Feb and the thrust area is bovine sexed semen sorting technology. On this area you have to apply. Who can submit? Proposal is solicited from investigators from the recognized academic institutions, universities, colleges, the national laboratories and research organizations. Evaluation criteria is similar, that the proposal will be properly reviewed as per DBT norms. So here it is written that there will be a pre-submission meeting and the department may organize a pre-submission online meeting with the interested investigators for explaining the terms. So it is requested that the interested investigators must inform DBT regarding their willingness to attend the pre-submission meeting through email within 15 days from the advertisement of call. So these were four categories or four call for proposals from DBT. So if you are interested, then you can apply. And if any type of problem you are facing, then you can write in the comment section. Thank you so much. Stay connected with us.